As you could probably see from my thumbnail, my Empties bin is overflowing, which means it's time to pull them out, chat about them, what I liked, what I didn't like, kind of like a little mini review, and move them into the real trash. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Melissa, and today we are going to pull out these Empties, do a quick review. It's probably been several months since I've done this, and I do want to put a little footnote here. This does not include anything that I've used up in my quote-unquote Project Pan Declutter series that I'm doing. This is totally separate. So let's just dive right in. I'm going to start with an old favorite. This is the Elnett hairspray from L'Oreal. This is like my holy grail hairspray. But I think they may be changing the formula. It looks different now. It has a black cap, and I don't feel like this hold is as strong. So I'm still trying to sort that out. In the meantime, I have two other brands that I've been working on and trying, and spoiler, nothing has replaced this yet. And for my long-term viewers, you know I usually go through about one of those a month. Now I'm going to talk about two products from Kristen S. I highlighted her hair water in my Beauty Game Changers because I love that. And that kind of spurred me on to try a bunch of other products. This is her signature shampoo and conditioner. While I love the packaging and I really like the conditioner, I really hate the shampoo. And those are strong words, because usually you can find like one redeeming quality in a product and just say, it wasn't my favorite, but I liked this. I liked very little about this product. It says here, for all hair types, lightly clarifying, high lathering, safe for daily use, sulfate free. Okay, yeah, it's sulfate free. I know that's good for your hair. It does not lather at all. I could never get it to lather. I don't understand this high lathering claim. It is so flat. You put it on, you wash your hair, it feels like it's not doing anything. And so then you put more on. So like the first time I used it, I used like this much because I was like, I don't feel anything. Is it getting my hair clean? Rinsed it out, start it again. That's a no for me. I have never had such a strong negative reaction to any shampoo. Even the low foaming, low sulfate ones I've tried in the past have never been this non-performing. Now, I will say, after I used it a couple times, I just kind of ignored that it didn't feel like it was doing anything. And yes, it did get my hair clean. So I guess I'm saying that because if you really love that like non-foaming kind of hair product, this is your go-to. I don't know. I didn't care for it, and I did pick up a couple of other products from her, so I may end up over time doing like a full-on brand review. We'll see. But for now, yes to the conditioner. Lovely. No to the shampoo. Since we're talking about hair, I also used up this Suave Moroccan Infused Shine shampoo. This is not the first time I've talked about this on my channel. This is like my go-to really cheap drugstore shampoo that I think performs beautifully, and I really like it. And I have purchased it over and over. I also like the conditioner that you can pair with this. This is a yes please for me every single time. I loved every second of it. So next I'm going to talk about a whole handful of products from Paula's Choice, and I got such a funny comment on one of my last like skincare videos where I talked about using Curology for a year, and someone said in the comments, is this a Curology video or is this video really about Paula's Choice? I like laughed out loud when I read that. I don't know if she meant it to be funny. I felt it was kind of funny because I do have a very deep, long love affair with Paula's Choice. And I have been trying to like work through a back inventory of products that I have, and so now as some are, you know, I'm using up, I'm subbing in some other new products just for fun. So I did want to like just tell you about what I have used up from Paula's Choice and chat about them. Some of them are favorites, and one I didn't like too much, and it actually has expired, so I am getting rid of it. And that is the Resist Smoothing Primer Serum with an SPF of 30. One of the things that I didn't like about this is it is a chemical sunscreen, and I'm sure this was before I really dawned on me that chemical sunscreens just don't do well on my skin, and it made me break out, and I stopped using it, but it just got tossed into the bottom of the bin. Some people will really love this. It's a primer and an SPF built in. I think that's kind of brilliant. It is a clear, like gel-like formula. It has like a little silicone slip to it. It's lovely if you don't have a problem with chemical sunscreens. Since we're talking about sunscreens, I'll talk about an all-time favorite. This is the Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense with a broad spectrum SPF of 30. I thought there might be a little tiny bit in there that I could show it to you, but no. There's nothing left. If you look at the opening here, you can see it has a little bit of a tint to it. That's just there to really offset that white cast that you can get from physical sunscreen. For me, it's a good shade. It does do a little blurring, but that won't work for everybody depending on your skin tone. I have used countless of these and really have loved this over the years. I am experimenting with a couple of other ones. I have found one from the drugstore that I really like. I'm going to show you, just as a little spoiler. It's the Olay Complete UV 365. Oh my gosh! This is a mineral-based sunscreen. It doesn't break me out. It's an SPF of 30. I quite like that one from the drugstore. Next up is the Paula's Choice Resist Perfectly Balanced Foaming Cleanser. This has been in my shower for a decade. I'm kidding, it hasn't been in there that long, but it's been in there a long time. Because, you know, I don't really like foaming cleansers as much as I used to. But I did finally use it up. I like this kind of a cleanser more during the summer when I'm coming in from the pool and you have that sunscreen on, like a really heavy sunscreen, and you want to like really scrub it off. It's good for that. It's just a little too deep cleaning for the winter time. My skin is changing and it's getting drier. Next up, I have two different like moisturizers. One's a serum and one is a full-on moisturizer. Let's talk about the serum first. It is the Paula's Choice Resist Omega Plus Complex. This is a fabulous serum. I talked about it when I did my 1-year anniversary of Curology. This is one of the things that I really like using over the Curology. I think it does a beautiful job. I love this. The other moisturizer that I've used a ton of over the years is the Resist Barrier Repair Moisturizer with retinol. I love this moisturizer a lot. It is a really good basic moisturizer. It's not too heavy, it's not too light, it soaks into the skin beautifully, it works well under makeup if you want to use it under makeup. I like to use it at night because it absorbs pretty much completely into the skin so you don't get like stuck to the pillowcase, which I hate. So this, I've gone through many bottles of this as well. It is a favorite. I am kind of backing off products that have retinol in them because of the Curology product I'm using, which has the tretinoin built in. I don't want to overdo it on my skin. But if you're a little bit younger and you're looking for a little bit of a hit with retinol, this is a good way to do it. Alright, the last product from Paula's Choice is the Resist Hyaluronic Acid Booster. She has totally repackaged all of her boosters, so now they're white with colorful caps. They look pretty snazzy. This one I've been working on for a while, and I like this quite a bit. This is one that I have used multiple bottles of and would definitely repurchase. However, she says, I am experimenting with one from the drugstore. It's from L'Oreal. It's the Revitalift 1.5 Pure Hyaluronic Acid. I'm just getting into this, so I don't really have an opinion, but I was super excited to see that the drugstore was offering like a pure hyaluronic acid serum that you could add to product or use alone, and kudos to L'Oreal for doing that. I think that's pretty flippin' awesome. So the next one is a mask from Glam Glow. And this is one that I've used a whole bunch of times and I really, really liked it. But I had this little small size and I thought, okay, I'm gonna, try and use this up because I'm really trying to use up product. I feel like I just have too much that I'm ignoring and too much that I've ignored and have gone bad. Like, that's just not good. This is the Glam Glow Super Mud Clearing Treatment. And it's the one in the white jar. This is just a little like sample, deluxe sample tube. I think I got it in like a holiday pack. And I put it on, I left it on like I normally do, and oh my gosh, when I took it off, I had like such a red face. It looked like I had been burned a little bit, and it felt hot and irritated. And I think probably the reason is that my skin is just a little bit more sensitive with the Retin-A product that I'm using, and I can't use this anymore. So I'm pitching it. It doesn't mean it's a bad product. It just means it doesn't work for me anymore. And that's okay. That's something that, you know, you need to keep in mind as you listen to people talk about things and review things. Like, what works for them may not always work for you, and vice versa. So it's good to get that input, but sometimes you have to make your own decisions. Next up is the drying lotion from Badescu. And this, I think, ooh, let's turn it here. This is a great little product if you have breakouts. It comes with this like pink stuff in the bottom that kind of reminds me of calamine lotion, and I think it probably is something like that because it like dries things up, and calamine lotion dries up your poison ivy. And then usually there's like a liquid on top, and you just dip in a Q-tip and then just pinpoint dab it on your spots that need a little help drying up. I had really good luck with this. It's actually good timing because my skin has been so clear. I know I keep mentioning the Curology. It really has done wonders for me, but I really don't even need a product like this anymore. Okay, I'm retiring a couple of beauty tools because they are, in my opinion, worn out. One is a makeup sponge. This is the L'Oreal one, and it has like a little divot in there. I love this sponge, and I have two on the go right now. I kind of feel like, for me, they can replace a beauty blender. They may not be quite as soft, but they are really soft. I think they're softer than the Real Techniques, and they are just a fraction of the cost, which, you know, okay, I'm all about that life. The next is like my favorite eyeshadow brush from Japanesque. It's the 140, and it's like double-sided. I love this brush. I probably have used this brush for about 5 years, and I just felt like it was getting a little raggy. I already had a backup, and I thought, I'm going to open up the backup and use the backup. So I think Japanesque makes some beautiful brushes, but I don't see them so much anymore at Ulta. That's where they used to sell them, and I'm like, I'm wondering what's going on with this brand. Anyone have some intel on that? I think maybe Japanesque might be phasing out, or certainly phasing out of Ulta. Let me know if you know anything about this. Next is the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner, and this is in the shade Indigo. This is a great liquid eyeliner with a felt tip pen. There was more in there than I thought. It was pretty dried up when I put it in there, and quite frankly, I don't use a lot of liquid eyeliner, so I have decided to move this out. If you're looking for a budge-proof liquid eyeliner and you like that felt tip pen formula, this is an awesome one, and it really, really stays like nobody's business. Highly recommend it. And this other product is this e.l.f. Makeup Remover Pen. I'm sure you all have seen this. This is a very clever little product, and it's a great way. It's like makeup remover in this little felt tip pen to clean up those little oopses, like particularly with mascara, but mine is totally dried up. And yes, I would pick up another one of these. They're really inexpensive, and they're a great tool to have on hand for just such an occasion. This is a little teeny tiny sample of a Kat Von D setting spray. It looks like a perfume sample, and this is called Locket. I took this on a weekend trip and used it all up on that weekend trip. There was not very much in there, but small victories, using up those little samples. We always say, oh, save them for travel, and then do we remember to pull those when we travel? I'm not so good at that. Maybe you're better at that than I am. This next item is from Olay. It's the Regenerating serum. So I bought this. I didn't love it on my face, so I ended up using it on the backs of my hands. I just pumped it out. You know, I didn't want to just throw it away when I could use it somewhere else on my body, and that's often where bad skincare goes. Somewhere else on my body where I can use it up and feel like I've gotten my money's worth, and so I'm not just tossing. Don't misinterpret that statement. I wouldn't say this is bad skincare. It just wasn't for me. So if this is something you love, awesome, because I think Olay makes some beautiful products. Next, I have a little daily brush cleaner from e.l.f. It was fine. It did the job. I have other brush cleaners I like better, but if you are looking for a budget-friendly brush cleaner, this one will do the trick. I've retired a L'Oreal Butterfly mascara. I love this mascara. Immediately opened up another one, and I have a couple in my backup drawer. So yes, awesome, awesome, awesome. And I am wearing it today. I love the brush on this. It helps hold the curl nicely. It's winter, winter, chicken dinner. Next up is the CND Solar Oil. This is a cuticle oil, and I liked it quite a bit. I think it's somewhat of a cult classic. A lot of people use this and love it, and I think it's terrific. You get a lot of product in here, so I like that. I used up this number 7 Lift and Illuminate Triple Action Eye Cream, and it was fine. It was a pretty average type of eye cream. It did the job. I think if you are young and don't have a lot of crinkly bits like I do, you would probably really love this, and it's affordably priced at the drugstore. So I did like it. I think I need something a little bit more enriched for my eyes. I think it would be perfect if you're in your late 20s or early 30s and you're just starting to use eye cream. Speaking about some eye creams, I used up one of these Shiseido Benefion's Pure Retinol Instant Treatment Eye Mask. It comes in a little sachet like this, and there's 2 little pads you put on, and these are pretty flippin' awesome. I hadn't used them in a while, and I pulled them out. I'm like, I'm gonna use one of these, and I'm like, oh, why don't I use one of these every day? Well, because they're kind of expensive, but oh my gosh, they are wonderful. You know, this is my more wrinkly eye, and when I pulled it off, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't see any wrinkles. Now as you pat it in and it dries down a little bit and your natural expressions come up, yeah, those little wrinkly bits show again a little bit, but holy guacamole. I think this is probably, I don't know, maybe the gold standard in under eye patches. I have a couple of new ones that I'm trying out. I'll keep you posted. Then I have this Naked Skin Ultra Definition Powder Foundation from Urban Decay, which I have finally used up. And they don't make this anymore. So I was anxious to use it up. I ended up just scraping the little bits around the edges and pressing it in the middle, which made it so much easier to use. I really loved this powder foundation, but they stopped making it. So I'm delving into another old favorite, the Laura Geller Balance and Brightener. The Laura Geller Balance and Brighten powder foundation. I do like powder foundations. So the last item I have is not a makeup item. It's a home good item that I talked about when I started my Lucky Bags, and I was like, I have got to start using up all the candles I have. I have so many candles in this house that it is ridiculous. And so I've been pulling them out and working on them. This one, who makes this? It's another eyeglass moment. This says producecandles.com. I'm pretty sure I got this in some kind of a subscription box. While there still looks like there's candle in here, as you know, as it burns down and the wick holder, which is metal, comes up out of the wax, you can't light it anymore, and it just became like a smoky nightmare. This is not an endorsement for this brand. It is just something I used up. I publish videos every Saturday morning. However, during the month of March, I have been uploading an additional video during the week, and that is in honor and celebration of my YouTube anniversary. So if you missed last week's video or the last one I published, I'll include a link to it up here, and I hope you will click on this little bee icon here to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my uploads, whether they come midweek or on my regular schedule.